Alright, so this year's Fight of the Year is very, very interesting because it really only comes down to two guys for two very distinct reasons. You have Ilia Topuria for his incredible accomplishments he's been able to achieve this year, and then you have Alex Pereira for the activity and the entertainment, and it just makes it very interesting. I want to talk about who I think is the Fighter of the Year. Anyway, let me know who you have for the Fight of the Year this year, and while you're down there, I'd appreciate if you could like, subscribe. We're really close to 440 subs. Anyway, let me get into it. As I mentioned in the beginning, the two candidates for Fight of the Year are Ilia Topuria and Alex Pereira. And before I go into who I think is Fight of the Year, I think it's best if I talk about both these guys' accomplishments, because the list is actually insane. I think they've done very, very important things this year, and both of them honestly deserve to win this, okay? Like, there's no guy who I think is more deserving than the other. There's just like one guy who's like slightly more impressive, but both these guys have had insane years. I mean, Ilia Topuria has had maybe one of the craziest years a fighter can have in UFC history, and then on top of that, Alex Pereira, this guy's become a megastar and maybe one of the biggest stars in UFC history as well. It's like both these guys have done incredible things, so you can't take it away from either of them. Now for Ilia Topuria, what has Ilia Topuria done to become Fighter of the Year? I think the best part of his year is the achievements. Like I said in the beginning, I mean, this guy has probably had the most perfect year as a UFC champion you could possibly have. I mean, this guy knocked out two of the GOATs of his division, two of the best fighters in his division of all time, which is just an insane achievement, okay? Again, at the age he did it as well, which is crazy, because I believe he's like 27, which is insanely young to do what he's doing right now. It's very impressive. And bro, we're talking about this guy as if he's probably like the most skilled featherweight of all time as well, okay? In February, he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, who obviously we all know this guy is an incredible featherweight. He's the featherweight GOAT, okay? And is arguably like top 5, top 10 of all time, which is insane, okay? And a lot of people are going to argue, Volkanovski, he, just got knocked out by Makhachev. It was a quick turnaround. But if you look at the punch that Ilia Topuria caught Volkanovski with, anybody would have got knocked out by that. I don't think Volkanovski in his prime would have been able to take that shot somehow. So that's a really dumb argument, okay? And even though it was a quick turnaround, I don't think that affected anything else. I think he was winning round 1, 2, so it's kind of silly to say that Volk somehow, because he was on a quick turnaround, he got knocked out by Ilia Topuria. I think that's very silly to say, but Ilia Topuria knocks out Alexander Volkanovski. Very impressive. Like, that knockout was actually crazy. His boxing, very, very skillful. And then he knocks out Max Holloway. Now, this part is the craziest one because Max was coming off like the greatest win of his career, okay? Maybe the craziest knockout of all time. That moment was definitely the best moment of the year, where he knocked out Justin Gaethje at the last second at UFC 300 for the BMF belt. That was nuts, okay? That was an insane performance. And then Ilia Topuria knocked that guy out. And on top of that, the build-up for this fight was crazy, okay? Because this was probably the most hyped fight of the year, okay? Everyone was so excited for Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. This was going to be one of the most, like, skillful stand-up fights in the UFC, and it was crazy, okay? And Ilia Topuria went out and knocked out Max Holloway, who had never been knocked down before either. I think he hadn't been knocked out either, which is crazy, okay? Because, the Justin Gaethje one, I don't think that was an official knockdown. And Ilia Topuria KO'd him. Like, he didn't really even, like, struggle that much either, okay? Like, it wasn't an easy fight, okay? Max Holloway was, like, jabbing him up a bit, but he really wasn't, like, losing. I'm pretty sure he won the first 2 rounds, so it was, like, 1-1 or something. But to knock out the featherweight GOAT, and then the third greatest featherweight of all time, who has the best chin in UFC history, is insane to achieve in 1 year, okay? Also, he's just very entertaining, okay? The build-up to the Volkanovski fight and the Holloway fight was very, very exciting and really, really funny, okay? The Holloway press conferences and the face-to-faces of what they were doing, bro, that was so funny, bro. Ilia Topuria in that interview with Max, that was one of the funniest things I had seen this year, bro. It was incredible, okay? The "Who's Joe" line might be my favorite line in history, because it's like, bro, if you're in a sticky situation, you're arguing with someone, and you kind of backed yourself into a corner, bro, just say "Who's Joe," act confused, and move on, bro. That is such a goated method, bro. I'm going to start using that. I even used it the other day, because I just got done, like, throwing bricks at homeless people, and then, like, a police officer came up to me, and he was asking me why am I doing this and whatever, and then, like, I don't know, I just asked "Who's Joe," and then I just walked away. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, I just got off scot-free. Like, it was a goated method, and I think Ilia Topuria is a genius for this. I think we need to give this guy, like, a Nobel Prize for what he thought of there, because "Who's Joe?" Incredible line. But Alex Pereira, this guy is easily the most entertaining fighter of the year. There is no argument about it, okay? Because in terms of, like, actual, like, in-octagon achievements, I don't think he, like, achieved anything crazy this year. But, bro, he is so entertaining inside the octagon. On top of that, his activity is incredible, okay? He fights Jamal Hill at UFC 300, which the biggest card of all time, and then he proceeds to KO Jamal Hill after Jamal kicks him in the nuts. Okay, this was a crazy viral moment. Jamal kicks him in the nuts. Alex Pereira waves it off, knocks him out immediately after, and does a celebration on him. Bro, that was like insane. Okay, and then after that, he comes in short notice. Very, very cool as well for him to come in short notice. And then he fights Yuri Prochazka in a rematch. You know, the first match kind of ended controversially. It was kind of an early stoppage. I thought it was, but, you know, looking back, I think Yuri died actually. But, you know, comes back and then Alex Pereira genuinely killed him this time. You know, Yuri Prochazka, that fight was crazy as well. The whole stare down. This guy had the best stare down of the year twice in a row, which is nuts because the whole build up to that fight as well was insane. And then the actual fight, very entertaining. And then Alex Pereira KOs him in one of the best KOs of the year as well. And then he fights Khalil Roundtree in the weirdest title shot of all time. Okay, Khalil Roundtree, I don't know where that came from, but, you know, that was probably one of the best fights of the year, okay? Well, not probably. I think it was my second favorite fight of the year. That fight was crazy, okay? To see, you know, Khalil Roundtree actually be able to do well against Alex Pereira. And then Alex Pereira, bro, Alex Pereira in the fourth round. I've seen it so many times. It's like when someone calls a go, Alex Pereira in the fourth round. Because that was genuinely like a perfect performance. This guy looked like a video game final boss in there. It was nuts, bro. So for Alex Pereira to do that is crazy. So he's achieved a lot of great things, but like on paper, I don't think any of these things are that crazy. Okay, if you really look at them, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka, and Khalil Roundtree compared to Volkanovski and Holloway, I don't think it really is that impressive. But the way he did it just won over all the fans because of just how entertaining his fights are, and, you know, always going for the knockout. Even though Ilia Topuria does do the same thing, I feel like Alex Pereira, you know, he's a big, scary Brazilian man. It makes a lot of people want to watch. So I think he's definitely going to be the favorite here for, like, the fight of the year. I think a lot of people are going to be picking him for this. But me, personally, who am I picking fight of the year based on everything I've just talked about? I'm going to have to go with Shamil Gaziev. I mean, the guy is the fattest man of all time. He's the first guy to die of cardiac arrest in the octagon. It's kind of incredible. The guy is fat maxed to a level beyond human comprehension. I think that's very impressive to do in 1 year. I mean, Shamil Gaziev, the heaviest man on the planet, it's very, very impressive. But in all seriousness, me personally, I'm going to be going with Ilia Topuria. I just think what he's done is just so impressive. You know, I mean, Volkanovski and Holloway in 1 year is just like, that is something that's going to be like there forever, okay? Like, no matter how you look at it, that is incredibly impressive. And like I said, I don't think what Alex Pereira did was very impressive. I just think it was very entertaining, okay? And it's great. And I do think he deserves some kind of award just because of how impactful he's been this year. I mean, this guy has had an insane impact in just 1 year. This guy has like had all his arch nemesis just join the UFC, which is just crazy, okay? And all his fights have been viral. So he definitely deserves something, but I don't think you can beat what Ilia Topuria has done. I just think that is very impressive. But I want to talk about all the other fighters of the year that I think have done incredible things, okay? Starting with Gene Silva. Gene Silva, I mean, this guy's literally the GOAT, okay? Shamil Gaziev is up there as well, but Gene Silva, he's just done incredible things. His debut against Weston Watson was an insanely, just, when I say insane, I mean this was nuts. Just everything he did in that fight, because, like, he had like a 15-minute walkout. I don't even think it was 15 minutes. It's probably like 5 minutes. But his walkout was crazy. And then he just mogged Weston Wilson so bad. This guy just looks like a Brazilian Andrew Tate. And he just went out there and just mogged Weston Wilson very easily. Goes out there, KOs Charles Jourdain. You know, he missed weight, but it's whatever. And then the next fight has a crazy like war with Drew Dober. And just completely outstrikes him. Bro, Gene Silva deserves something as well. And then, you know, CP, Carlos Prates, man. I love CP, bro. Carlos Prates, this guy is the GOAT. Okay, that was an insane sentence to say. Okay, but by CP, obviously, I mean Carlos Prates. But Carlos Prates, this guy's just done incredible things, okay? 4-0. I think he's like 5-0 this year because the Dana White Contender Series too. 5 fights in 1 year, all knockouts, bro, which is absolutely nuts, okay? Because the first fight, Trevin Giles knocks him out. And I remember Lucas Tracy saying, Kevin Prates, man, Kevin Prates, this guy's actually really good, man. He kind of reminds me of Anderson Silva. And then he went out and just becomes the GOAT. So, you know, Lucas Tracy, sometimes he's right, sometimes, you know, he's terribly wrong. But look, Carlos Prates KO'd Li Jingliang. You know, I think he KO'd like Charles Radke as well, which that KO was nuts. And then on top of that, he just like smokes Neil Magny. Very great fighter, bro. I think he's probably my favorite fighter right now. And then on top of that, you have like Joaquin Buckley. Although I think his win streak was slightly less impressive than Carlos Prates, but I think it's still very, very incredible what he's been able to do. I mean, the guy just keeps getting better every single fight because he started off against, I think it was Vicente Luque. He KO'd Vicente Luque. Kind of impressive, but at the same time, Vicente Luque, I don't know what he was doing. He was playing like a bot. And then he doesn't KO Ruziboyev. He gets a decision over Ruziboyev. But Ruziboyev, he's kind of the worst fighter of all time. This guy genuinely only knows one move. He just spams triangle over and over again. He's kind of terrible, but he dominated Ruzaboyev, so to be fair, very impressive from there. But then after this is where the wins actually start getting very impressive, because he KOs Wonderboy, which was absolutely crazy the way he did it. That was one of my favorite KOs of the year. Very, very cool. And on top of that, he KOs Colby Covington. Well, kind of KOs. He, got a doctor stoppage, but that performance against Colby Covington, he looked his best, and he genuinely looks like a guy who could probably beat Bilal at some point. Again, Joaquin Buckley, definitely another contender for this. But yeah, those are all my favorite fighters of the year. And I think Ilia Topuria is the biggest fighter of the year. And I think he's the best one. So I'm going to have to go with him as my fighter for the year. And that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. All right.